After a successful registration, you've opened your account, the system is going to redirect you to your dashboard. This is the super admin dashboard. This is the first section where you would come into. So basically I'll be showing you how to fill in the necessary information, such as the company info, the personal info, the payroll settings, attendance settings, the employment options, your employee contract type, your compensation package, and also to view your subscription and billings, and also your security. But for the purpose of this, I'll start with the basic company information. Basically, this section helps you to fill in the necessary requirements or the necessary KYC documents for your organization. The name of your organization will be pre-populated from what you imputed when you started creating the account, or when you first imputed it during the account creation. So basically, the information we'll be asking from you would be your currency type. Then for your employee ID prefix, it just means, okay, the system is going to be generating an ID for you. How do you want your ID to be? How do you want it to be structured? That is basically what the employee's ID prefix means. Then how many staff works in your organization? You also get to pick that. Then we also ask you for your basic KYC information. This could be your business name, your CSC document, whichever one you have. You just click the upload button to upload that for us to review. Then the other section is the business entity type. What kind of business is it? Is it a private business? Is it a public? Is it a government-owned entity? Is it an NGO? Is it education? Is it religious, or it's others? If you're picking others, there is a section there where you impute it manually if it is not part of our drop-down options. Then the nature of business, is it finance? Is it health? Is it technology? And also, if you have others, you could pick others and impute in the field here. You could input what your organization or what the nature of your business is all about. You also, the email that you will be seeing here is the email that has initially been used during the account creation. Then your company phone number is the phone number that is attached to your organization. Then briefly describe your organization. You just talk about what you do in your organization. Then the last section is the organization's address and your social media presence, which is the country, your state or your province, your town or city, the postal code, your business websites if you have, and the social media URL if any. For the URL, it could be Facebook, it could be LinkedIn, it could be anything. It's just a pointer to say, okay, this is my organization's social media handle. Then the next section we have is the personal info. Now the company info is different from the personal info because the company info is for the organization in itself, while the personal info is basically for the individual doing the registration on behalf of the company. So that person could be a CEO, it could be a top executive, or it could be an IT person. It doesn't really matter who has the personal info, but it's the person that is going to be held accountable for whatever settings or whatever issue might go wrong with the account. So that is why we have a section for the personal information. So for this part, all we ask is the person should upload a profile picture. You input your first name, your last name, your gender, date of birth, your email address. This can be different from the main company info because now the company info is what ties the organization and all its individuals together. Now, for this personal info, it is individualized, meaning it is just for a particular individual that is going to be held accountable to or for the organization. That is basically what this email. So you could change this email address if you want to. Then the phone number and the contact address of the person. Once you save these changes, you we also ensure that the person should upload an image. So the person can upload either um their company ID card, their driving license, or any means of identification to ensure that this person is who they say it is. The information they have imputed above tallies with their valid means of identification. So once you're done doing this section, these are the two most important sections when you first on board on Oberon, your company info and your personal info. The next one we will move on to is the payroll settings. Now, for the payroll settings, basically you would want to pay your employees directly from Oberon. You don't need to start running to the bank. You don't need to start using an Excel sheet to balance your books. Oberon is going to ensure that everything is done seamlessly, and you don't even need to within 10 minutes everything is done. You've done your full remittance, you've done your full calculations. Everything will be done on the back end. You don't need to manually pick an Excel sheet or a calculator to start calculating anything. Oberon is going to handle all of that for you. So we have three different payment integrations with more on the way. We have the Paystack, we have the Monify, we have the Rave by Flutterwave. You can pick anyone that you want, and you can use all if you have all accounts with this particular payments gateways. So for the purpose of this, I'll be using Paystack. So as you can see, I have Paystack already enabled. Once you enable Paystack, you can select the Paystack from the options down here, and to tell you the default gateway payments has been selected. Now on your Paystack account, what you need to do is you navigate to your Paystack account. Under settings, you will click API and webhooks. So once you click your API and webhooks, you would click on this section here to get webhook URL. So once you copy this webhook URL, you would paste it on your Paystack account. Now once you're done pasting that, you would see a 4 different set of keys. You're going to see the Paystack text key and the Paystack secret key. You see the public text key and the public secret key. The Paystack text key and secret keys for the live keys. Those are the live keys, while the test keys are just for test. Now, so once you copy the 4 keys that are there, SK is for secret key, then PK is for public key. So once you're done copying those ones, you will see test and you would see live. So once you're done copying those 4 keys, you're going to paste them respectively in each of these key details. For the test key, the first one here is the public live key. This is the public test key. This is the secret live key, and this is the secret test key. So once you're done pasting all 4, you're going to click on save details. Once you save the details, you can choose either you want to do a manual pay run generation or an automatic pay run generation. Now to switch into live mode, after you've copied both your live keys and your test keys, you toggle this button here to switch Paystack into live mode. Once it is in live mode, whatever transaction you're running on Paystack is going to be live, meaning if you're doing a pay run, you're sending money to your employees, they're going to receive the money immediately. And if you're doing a test, you're doing a test just to ensure that every setting or everything that you have imputed here is correct. That is why we have that toggle button to say, okay, for your test mode, you can test everything to ensure that everything is working seamlessly before you move on to the live mode. That way you're protecting yourself, and we are also protecting the integrity of our organization. That is basically why we have the Paystack mode there, both for the tests and the live key. But I'm going to toggle this back to the test mode to ensure you would see how the whole settings is being run, how I'll be doing my payroll generation, and you would understand the difference between the Paystack mode for the test and the Paystack mode for the live. The next section I will move on to is going to be the attendance settings. So basically for the attendance, we created it in a way to ensure that for all organizations, it doesn't seem like we are boxing them. What I mean is we had to think of a way to say, okay, instead of having a strict policy where you say all your employees must resume by 8, they must leave by 5, why don't we make it flexible? Why don't we make it to be so easy for them to say, okay, if someone stays in a far location, we can give you some leeway to say, okay, as long as you don't come before this time, you're still going to be taken, we would still say you came into the organization early. So that's why we have the flexible mode. So if I should change this from the strict to the flexible, all I need to do is click on the edit button. I would choose toggle to the flexible. As you can see, we have 2 time range, meaning if someone should come by 8, it will still them by as early, and if someone should come in 8:29 a.m., because it will still say the person as being early. But anything after 8:30, it will take it that the person came late to the organization. And if your work days are Sundays, Saturdays, you don't have weekends, you don't have weekdays, every day is a work day for you in your organization, you can also pick all that you want. If you have off days on Wednesdays, Thursdays, you don't allow your employees to come to work, you can choose as much as you want, you can tweak as much as you want. It is flexible. We don't do the normal traditional Monday to Fridays is work. Some organizations, they don't allow Monday to Fridays. They say, okay, Monday no work, everyone should rest. That is basically how our system is designed. So if I should tweak this and I click on done, now these are the work days for my organization, for the organization I'm using for this current onboarding. This is my for anybody that doesn't clock in on a Wednesday, the system would not see the person as absent, but rather it will take it that that day is not our work day, it's our weekend, it's our resting day. But for every other day, like on a Sunday, on a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Friday, on a Saturday, if an employee should not clock in, the system will say that person has been absent without approval, meaning the person did not submit a leave request and the person is also not on leave. The next section I have is the employee contract type. Now this employee contract type, I will do a different video altogether for it, because the employee contract type has a whole lot of segments that is intertwined, such as, say for example, for an intern, We know most interns, they don't take salaries, they are stuck with stipends, they are not allowed to pay income tax, so there's no employer contribution for them, there's no contribution and mostly no allowance. I will need to walk you through what each of this means, how each of them is being broken down. But I just want you to know that for the contract type, I know the system currently has just intern and full time. You are allowed to create as much contract type as you want. If, say, for your in your organization you have part time, I can just easily click on add contract type, part time. This is for part time contractors. Add new employee contract type. As you can see, I have part time here. Now, why I said I'm going to dedicate a full video, a full onboarding, or a full tutorial to this section is because I need to also explain the compensation packages that come with each contract creation type. Because only if I explain what each compensation package type is before the main contract type would have would have meaning. So that is why I said I'm going to dedicate a full video or a full onboarding session just for employee contract type, and the same applies to the compensation package because they go hand in hand. The last section I'll talk about, the second to the last, is your subscription and plans. This is a part where you get to see what your active plan is, what your subscription package is, when it is expected to expire, and everything that comes with your package. Then we have the security section. The security section basically means we have a security feature just like when you use your normal bank account. When you stay logged in for a period of time without any activity, the system logs you out. We have the same thing on Oberon, especially for the admin account. Say for example, you're in your admin account doing administrative duties on Oberon and you receive a call, so your mind totally went off the system. Now anyone could come to your system to do anything, to play hanky panky or something. So rather than ensuring that the system is just open and vulnerable, we decided to add a timeout to the system to say if there is no activity within a certain period of time, which will be determined by you, we have the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20, or the 30 minutes. We still intend to include an option that says others. So if you want it to be 1 minute, if you want it to be 20 minutes, if you want it to be 5 minutes, or 3 minutes, or 2 minutes, as anything that you want, that is your choice. You can easily go in there to set it. But for what we currently have on the system, we just have 5, 10, up to 30. So once it is 5 minutes and there is no movement on the screen is blank, the system times out immediately and logs you out. But one interesting fact about this timeout is once you're being timed out and the system knocks you off, once you log back in, it is the same activity that you're currently on that it will take you back to. It won't take you to a new screen or to your dashboard. If you're on the settings that it knocks you off or it logs you out, that is the settings it will take you back on. If you're on expense management and it takes you off on expense management, it's going to bring you back to expense management. That is for the timeout duration. We also have the two-factor authentication part where you can either use your phone authentication, you can use an email authentication, or you can use the authenticator app. If you have the Google authenticator, you have the Microsoft Pass Authenticator, any authenticator app you intend to use at all, you can easily set it up on the system. It is very easy, very seamless. For the phone authentication, you're going to receive a one-time an OTP code on as an SMS. The same applies to the email. Then for your authenticator app, all you need to do is just scan the QR code that will be generated on the application using your favorite or your preferred authenticator application. Then also to change your password, your old password will always be present there in case you forget your password. We try to ensure that, yes, some people might forget their password, and trying to change that password without some certain things might be tedious. So the system will also generate your old password. All you need to do is just include your new password, you confirm it, and your password would be changed. This is the section. This is where I would stop for the current settings section. See you in the next tutorial.